There's a lot that excites me about it. I feel like we are asserting a very clear vision of how we're going to contribute to addressing the ways that media and tech are harming our communities, but also putting forth a vision and a plan for how we create media and technology that serves our communities. It feels very ingrained in our history in the ways that Black and brown people have been creating our own media. And so I'm excited that we're continuing in a really long and storied tradition of people of color coming together and creating a landscape that works for us.
What excites me about the new strategy is that we're in a moment where we really need to focus on the underlying issue that's leading to fascism and oppression as we see it in today's world, and move away from winning important fights but sort of surface level fights, almost the symptoms. We need to start to tackle in a cohesive way with other movement organizations the problem at its root.
I think what excites me about our new strategy is that we're taking serious responsibility for shaping a field that is trying to deal with some of society's biggest problems. The introduction of AI and how it's reshaping the way information is generated and information is imparted into people, trying to deal with the pervasiveness of a technology that is constantly surveilling us. Those are big challenges in front of us, and our new strategy is saying we think that there's a way that we can organize our work so that we can make a difference when it comes to those harms. One word. I would say purpose.
Grounded.
Winning.
I think timeliness.
Iridescent.
Affirmation.
Ready.
Clarity.
Ooh, growth.
It's always a pivotal moment. But right now, I think it's clear not just to us, but to everyone that big tech and big media is, we can't even hardly keep up with just documenting the list of harms that they're committing. And so it feels like we're about to go over a cliff. And if we don't change and fight things now, it may be too late.
This is a moment in which we are dealing with multiple crises. A planet that is continuing to descend into complete chaos and destruction. A moment in which we have forces on the right that are cohering fascism and making that a real possibility into our world again. A moment in which those that are at the margins of society are experiencing disadvantage at levels we've never seen before. And in each of those crises, media, the ability to tell our story, and technology, the way that information is received out into society, media and technology are critical to those crises, to solving those crises. So that's why I think this strategy in this moment is particularly important.
I think a lot of people don't understand what to do with the fascism that they're seeing in their world today, and they know that technology is a problem. So this is an opportunity for us to give people a solution to that conundrum.
Big tech giants and media like to act like we're at a time where social media and tech is advancing us to be more accessible, giving folks the power to control their own stories, but we know that that's actually false. We know that our grassroots leaders have been shadow banned on platforms like TikTok. We know platforms like Twitter is actually deteriorating, and you can't even see the organizers and folks who are trying to make an impact to compete with the same level of folks who are verified and paying for Twitter. Any time is pivotal, but at this moment, we're actively seeing how our media platforms are essentially disintegrating. And so now is the time for us to reclaim that power, our narrative stories, and really progress and take control over our own media.
I'm an organizer. I think fundamentally my role is about building relationships and connections. And I think that part of what our new strategy is about is realizing that we need to have more and deeper connections. We need to have deeper relationships We need to have more neighbors and a bigger neighborhood. Grace Lee Boggs talked about movements are not about critical numbers, but critical connections. And that's what I'm blessed to be able to do in my work, is make those critical connections.
I think my role will continue to be listening to our people, making sure that we are able to continue to take direction and leadership from people who are most impacted by the harms that we're fighting against, and that we are coming together, right, as communities here, like locally, even internationally, to co-create, co-imagine, and co-strategize, right? And I think that as organizers, that's a lot of what we do, and just to continue to throw down, right, and keep this fight going until we can win.
Yeah, I think in my role as a narrative and communications director, I think a lot about the power of story and impact. And so a lot of people's understandings of this landscape or what is possible is related to the stories that are representing our communities. And so it feels really important to tell stories about what is possible, that we don't have to accept the ways that big tech and big media are encroaching in our lives, and that we can insert a new story that can capture our new vision for what we want to see.
I'm the head of operations and development, and I think something that I'm really passionate about is the way that operations can really be a way of trying out the liberatory world that we want to see in these small ways within what we have within our control. And so a lot of what I'm trying to do is figure out how do we actually live into our values right now with each other, with the really real constraints that we still live in capitalism. But it's an interesting time where I think there's a lot of folks who are doing that work of, let's not just say one day in the future we hope to see this world, but how can we try out some of what we want to see today? And I think with this new strategy, it's a moment for us internally as well as externally to be imagining what that future could look like.
As development director, I'm excited to resource campaigns and experiments that test our theory about the balance of power and how to challenge it.
As the senior comms associate, along with my colleague Daniela, we're hoping to kind of take back power and really amplify stories of BIPOC organizers, creatives, folks kind of taking control over our own lived experiences and amplifying that for not just our own communities, but towards the path of liberation.
The list is very long. Most recently, the trend has been brat. I'm working on it, but I still don't get it.
I'll be honest, Brat Summer, I'm still trying to figure it out.
I did not understand all the references to brat. Like, why that color? Why that font? Why brat?
I am on TikTok, so I'm happy that I understand a lot of things going on. But one that comes to mind is this meme around like an orangutan and a zoo and is pointing, and yeah, I'm not on that side of TikTok, so I'm not sure what's going on with that.
I am only seeing the follow-up memes of the demure thing, but I don't know what the original was. So the first time, I think I saw the National Parks Department on Instagram had a picture of an animal and was like, it's so demure. And I'm like, that's a really weird word choice.
So there's this new stress chord thing going on TikTok where they'll make a lot of remixes of songs with bongos and just make it overstimulation in a video. And I don't understand why people would want to see that.
A more recent trend I don't quite understand is Crocs. I just don't understand them. I don't get them. I see a lot of, particularly young people, I'm like, oh yeah, they're cool, right? But why are you wearing that?
The meme and trend that I don't understand, Crocs. I'll say it here first. I don't understand Crocs. Girl, I've heard that it's not even supportive for your feet.
Even though I'm not on the internet or social media, I feel like I know it all. I'm very demure. I'm very, thoughtful, mindful. So, I don't know. I feel like I am the meme. You all need to understand me better. Bye.
Thank you.